God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows.
Welcome to the 37th episode of Your Journey Is Not Over. My name is Tanya Pearson Randolph. This is my own personal journey, and the expressions and opinions are of my own. I own all the rights to my personal journey and to Your Journey Is Not Over. Neither are to be used, copied, or edited in any way without my consent. So yes, I kicked the door to the Chief of Police's office open. Knowing me now, and with the feedback I have gotten, I know it's shocking, right? I am the calmest, nicest, just laid back and go with the flow type of person now. But I wasn't always this way, sadly. I will go deeper into that a little later on. I do remember when I kicked the door open, the chief sat straight up in his chair behind his desk. And my friend looked like a deer caught in headlights. Of course, I focused right on her. My friend, my runaway buddy. With a shock on her face, I don't think she knew I was there, let alone heard what she was saying. So I told her, no, that wasn't how it went down at all. We both planned this. We both saved for this. And she tried arguing with me. And I told her, it didn't make no sense. It was her car. And I sure didn't hold her at gunpoint and make her run away. Actually, it was her idea in the very beginning. I definitely owned my part. After arguing with her back and forth for a few, I finally told her that if she continued lying, my dad, who was standing right behind me at this point, was going to file charges on her for driving me over the state line. Again, she was 16 years old and I was 14 years old. Don't ask me where I came up with that because that was never discussed. Again, I'm good on my feet. And it worked. She finally came clean and admitted it was both of us. She really had no other choice but to admit that. So the chief told her and her dad to wait outside his office. He wanted to talk to me and my dad. Here it goes, I thought. I'm getting locked up. I just made the most disrespectful grand entrance into this man who has a lot of power's office. This is how we got introduced. It wasn't good. What they say about first impressions? They last a lifetime, right? That would be wrong in this case. Thank goodness. So the chief proceeded to tell me that he liked and appreciated my honesty and how he was glad I surrendered and came home on my own. That it was a dangerous world for a young girl my age. Truly, he had seen something in me that day that made him not want to lock me up. He let me go home. I was so relieved. Now, to go back to how shocking my behavior was to people that know me now, nobody that knows me now would ever believe how bold and rebellious I was as a teenager. I can't even believe it sometimes. I'm like, was that really me? No way. I, again, am so laid back and a lot less reactive. Not much can fire me up. Not to say I'm not human, because I am. But I will say it takes a lot more to fire me up nowadays. Most of the time, I just avoid people, places, or things that might trigger me and want that version of me to come out. I compare it to a bee or a fly. Yes, a bee or a fly. If you avoid it, or whoever, or whatever, eventually it has no choice but to go away and find someone else to pester, talk about, etc. Again, it's called growth, learning, changing. Who I was at 14 years old and who I become at 53 years old aren't even close to the same person. I'm sure the expectations on me were pretty low as to who I would become as an adult, based on and judged by my behavior as a teenager. That's where the magic is. You can transform your life no matter where you come from, no matter what trauma you have experienced, and most important, no matter what people have said or may say. There was a lot of low expectations put on me, too. I guess I was, according to some, supposed to grow up and never accomplish anything or be anything, because of my upbringing and my trauma. Those low expectations of me always made me want to strive to do better, disappoint all the people that just knew I would be trash my entire life. I love to prove people wrong. It's just in me. So I use the negative to push me, to be my fuel to strive to do better, be better. Perfect? Never. But strive to be better than where I had been or who I once was. So that's why it's shocking to people around me now. Again, yes, I am soft, kind, and caring, and I'm laid back, and I ride the wave, I like to call it. But do people realize what all I had to go through, grow through, to become who I am now? How much I had to accept and heal to try to step into a better version of myself? There were a lot of letting go, as my dad always said, and he always told me this: accept the things that you cannot change, but you must change the things you can. I released everything April 16th, 2024, and since then, I have devoted my free time to just working on me, getting to know and heal myself. A lot of solitude time, and it was much needed. No distractions, just reflecting and accepting and releasing what no longer serves me. God will make it where you are all alone, and that's for a reason. That way you have no choice but to turn to Him. He's all you got. So you embrace your solitude, or your alone time, or me time is what I like to call it. It's during this time that your faith and your trust and your bond with God gets stronger. And along with that, you begin your own healing journey. This concludes my podcast for today. Please join me and listen in Thursday. And always remember, your journey is not over. God bless.
God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been